r/askreddit by Redify. Chefs, what red flags do you look for when you go out to eat? Anthony Bourdain said dirty menus. If they are not cleaning the menu, they are not cleaning other things. Similar to this, one of the first chefs I worked under always said pepper mills. If you can't be bothered to keep your salt and pepper shakers full, you're probably missing a lot of other stuff. I went to a local restaurant the other day. I've been there before, but they had new salt/pepper shakers on the tables. At first, I just thought it was decor. They were giant Lego pieces. But after my dad opened one, I realized they were salt/pepper shakers. Except, they weren't shakers. You had to actually pinch the salt and pepper. Now, in a home, pinching your salt is fine. But in a restaurant setting, isn't that gross? Edit, fixed word. Chinese restaurant doesn't have Chinese people working in it. Edit, Chinese takeaway without a kid behind the counter doing homework. If a fat little Chinese kid sitting behind the counter playing on an iPad doesn't take my order, I don't wanna eat there. This is so insanely accurate. I worked as a server and occasional line cook for several years. Number 1 red flag is the spouts on the soda fountain. Those things are one of the easiest things to clean in the entire place. So if they are mildewy, that kills my interest in eating there. I'm fine with a bit of mess elsewhere. Especially in a high volume place, since it will get messy over the course of a day. But those spouts take multiple days of no washing to get to a point where they are noticeably disgusting. I worked in a restaurant for a time and we would take the spouts off every night and put them in a container full of sanitation liquid. I always wondered if that was enough. They never had any mildew on them, so I assumed it was. That's exactly what you should be doing according to health code. It's the best way to disinfect them without leaving nasty cleaning residue on the spouts. I went to brunch recently and the head chef/owner walked in the front door with an axe, walked through the dining area and into the kitchen where he proceeded to axe the walk-in cooler to shreds. Not a chef, but I think that's a red flag. Maybe he's symbolically showing that his food is fresh and there's no need for a cooler. You will be served warm ice cream. Any questions? Hi. Actually a chef here. 1. Divorce your mind from the bathroom as dirty idea. Bathrooms are not always the responsibility of the kitchen and don't necessarily reflect the state of the kitchen. Also, bathrooms see a lot of use, so it being untidy, not covered in it, but paper on the floor, etc. isn't uncommon. Especially at peak hours. A clean bathroom is a sign of good management. Same idea applies to menus. To check the glassware and silverware and plates. If they are spotty, there are 2 reasons. They are not polished, or the system they are using isn't being maintained. This is a good sign of very few ducks being given in both the front and back of house. 3. If you have the opportunity to see the entrance to kitchen from the outside, that should give you a clue about whether or not the kitchen staff is trained to take care of the premises. If there is a stack of empty boxes, bags of trash, litter, then they don't care. Pests and rodents eat anything. If you leave it out, they learn where to be. Then they find how to get in. For a little harder. But the trained eye and experienced eater can learn a lot by what is in the menu. Some places use whatever processed product their mainliner sells them. Cisco, US Foods, Aramark, etc. They might be clean and well run, but still itty. I suggest looking for the local places over the chains, though this doesn't always help. 5. Server attire. Generally speaking, a well-dressed staff means good service. It might not say anything about the food, but appearances count. 6. Are they busy? If they're in the main part of town and not busy, that should tell you a lot. Overall, if your first experience doesn't leave you satisfied, not wow amazing, but good, then don't go back. Edit. Okay. Looks like I've stirred some pots and people need clarification or wish to debate my opinion and viewpoint. Number 1. Bathrooms, specifically, are not the primary place for either the front of house or back of house to operate in. FOH has a priority to providing customer service and sales, not checking a bathroom every 10 minutes. BOH has a priority in prep and execution of menu items, and maintaining a clean and safe work environment. At no point should either sides of the pass be rushing to clean a bathroom if they are tasked with handling food and plates. Yes. Dishwashers are usually the ones tasked with bathroom care, but if it is peak business hours, what are the chances that any of the staff are rushing off to check the itter? A sign of good management is that the staff has it as a task to regularly check the bathrooms. But I've yet to see a place that puts this at the top of the to-do list. If you go somewhere and the bathroom looks like it, let them know. Chances are they haven't checked it yet, or they just don't know. Give them a chance. Let them clean it. And don't automatically assume the whole place is trashed because one of the lower traffic areas needs care. Same goes for menus. Sometimes they get missed. Doesn't mean the whole place is it. If staff gives you it for mentioning that something is unacceptably dirty, that is a red flag. Number 4, again this is a little tougher. I have 20 years of working in the hospitality industry, so I have the relevant experience. Here are a few pointers. If it is a huge menu, they either are miking or frying everything. That isn't quality. It is quantity. If they've got really exotic looking items, unless it is their niche, and even then, they are using synthetics or frozen goods. Stuff like truffle oil, dragon fruit, even ponzu. They are fake or frozen. If they hype everything as being super special, imported, or have the need to call attention to how special the ingredient is, I'm calling bullet. Put it on the plate and show your work, not on a menu. Number 5, we are looking for red flags here, right? It doesn't have to be a shirt and tie with bistro apron to be good. IT can be really casual. Or as one Redditor mentioned, board shorts and t-shirts. I don't care what you are wearing. If I walk in and you have stained clothing, a rumpled apron, an outfit that looks like you grabbed it off the floor, crazy ducking hair, unkempt beard, and a general lack of hygiene, I'm not eating there. I've been to 3-star Michelin places that you expect perfection. And I've been to the mom and pop down the street. And in both cases the staff looks presentable. Just be clean and presentable. If it isn't, the staff doesn't care, and the management doesn't either. This place likely has dirty menus and dirty bathrooms too. This red flag comes before others. Same can be said of the general appearance. If the windows are spotty, the welcome mat is dirty, and it smells weird, or like cleaner too, they are probably missing a few other key things. Number 6, this is not an absolute. It is generally a good indicator of whether a place is doing well or not. Some places are hidden gems. Some places are full of despair. If you doubt whether the place is good, go in and evaluate the staff, the menu, and the bathroom before you eat anything. Also, I got gilded, so that is pretty cool. As a former dish guy, I always look at silverware for the exact reason you stated. Like FFS Ecolab machines are super easy to consistently keep sparkling ducking clean, well stocked on chemicals, and the traps should be pulled and cleaned at the end of the shift. Otherwise it's totally evident there's just some stoner back there doing the bare minimum and pushing dishes through. I went back into my last dish job to catch up and have a few drinks. They told me it takes them 2 people to consistently close dish before 1 AM LMAO, and the dishes are gross half the time. It's an extremely validating feeling to go duck this and stroll after being abused and overworked, only to be told they now have 2 people every shift doing the job you did by yourself. Edit. Jesus guys, cool it with the stoner it. It was a joke and I used to smoke as much as anyone. One would think y'all would be a lot cooler about it, LMAO. When I was dishished, I cleaned the traps thrice on my shift, because it literally took 90 seconds to take out the trap and filter and clean it out. I did it at the start because I didn't trust the other dish guy to have cleaned the filter because it was never cleaned when he was on shift last. I went to Wendy's and saw Hellerants on the soda machine, and when I mentioned it, they said, oh we know. Lol, remember that askreddit question about bad restaurant experiences? And the whole thing was a duck you to Applebee's? Jesus Christ. Yeah lol. I worked at Applebee's for a number of years and I've never had any experiences like people in that post made it out to be. Guess we just had a decent store. Not a chef, but my thing is size of the menu. This isn't always true, but oftentimes I think the smaller the menu the better the food. If a place has an enormous menu I always assume they're lacking on quality. A smaller menu also typically means they have fresher ingredients, because there is less to order and rotate. The exception to this is Mexican restaurants. Half the items are just different combinations of the others. Huge menus. Very few restaurants can do many things great, and I don't want to go somewhere that does a lot of okay meals. Edit. Depends on the kind of restaurant, of course. Just use your brain. P if they sell burgers, tacos, sushi, Indian and a full 8 pages more. Don't expect much. Huge menu will often mean frozen or industrial pre-made food. So yeah, I mean, it's not always bad. Some places just have menus where instead of pancakes with choice of X, 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 X or X, they list every single variation as a separate thing. If Gordon Ramsay is there, he's like a real life version of 50 over 50. You are either about to have a really good meal or a really bad one. Honestly, I wouldn't even order. I'd just watch him order his and wait. If he finishes with no problems, then I'll take a menu. If he starts doing his thing, well, it was an interesting night. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.